Driving out from the middle of Vienna city centre to Mödling, as we've just done, coping with the Friday afternoon traffic, it's a little bit like coming out of the middle of London and coming through to one of the suburbs. Reminds you, underlines what it was for Schoenberg to get out of the middle of the city and its rather hectic lifestyle and come here to this quiet garden and quiet house in a completely different world, really. Schoenberg was one of an increasingly large group of people that moved out of the city centre to this very different lifestyle in the suburbs.
When Schoenberg was going to Mödling, he had served in the army and he hadn't composed for several years. He was without any means and Austria was destroyed and defeated, and there was a big recession also coming in 1918-19. And so he couldn't afford anymore to live in the city, and it was cheaper to move out to the suburbs, and he found this apartment in Mödling where he could work, his wife could work, he was still there with his daughter. This apartment is important, and it's sometimes called the cradle of 12-tone music, because it's this place where he invented the 12-tone method.
We're sitting here in Schoenberg's music room in his house in Mödling at his old piano, and it would have been in this room that Schoenberg would have taught. Peoples came from Vienna out to see Schoenberg in Mödling to have their lessons here. In fact, some of them couldn't afford to take the train and walked. It's just taken us half an hour in a taxi, it's a long way. But such was his draw, such was his influence, that from 1918 through to 1924, this was the place that he had a huge influence on the younger generation of composers. Instead of working with the normal tonal scale, reordering those notes into melodies, Schoenberg made a series out of all 12 possible semitones as the basis of his musical lines and the basis of his harmonies. So to demonstrate, not with one of Schoenberg's own tone rows, but to give an example, it might go something like this. A series of notes, not yet a piece of music, not yet even a melody, but a series of notes as raw material out of which Schoenberg developed melodic lines and developed accompanying harmonies.